Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coach Salt Show. This is the spring edition, obviously, end of the school year upon us now. And, Coach, we just wanted to spend a few minutes. Obviously, you've concluded spring ball. We hadn't really had a show since we completed football season. So I think it's important that we go back and kind of reflect briefly on how the season ended in the Superdome and how special a year that was for our students. And obviously came up just a bit short.
Right.
But tell us a little bit about your thoughts on how that season went.
Well, I just think anytime you can get to the Superdome, Coach, obviously it's a fantastic year. You're right, we ended a little short, but I think if we can carry over the lesson of how close we were and it can keep us guided into next year, it could give us the push we need. You guys did it in 09 and 10. Cecilia did it to us. Cecilia went, 2 years ago, lose to Opelousas, come back this year and beat us. So hopefully that we can keep that trend going. This will be our year to go back and win it.
That's a good point. And Coach, you and I talked at the end of last year, and I didn't really think about it, but you mentioned that you put your sign up on the front of the field house. And every year since '81, the state championship for football has been played in the Superdome, and Franklinton's made five appearances.
Yeah, 5 times.
So essentially what we said was we had averaged, a year every 10 years.
Right. Every 6 years, huh? 30 years?
Right, but one of those was, I think, on the front of the building's a 69.
Right. So
that wasn't in a dome.
every 10 years we're getting in.
Right, we average an appearance once every 10 years, which is outstanding because there's a number of programs, not just in our area, but throughout the state, coaches that good coach, never been.
Right, I think, and maybe you had that same thought when you guys went, when you were the head coach here. It's like, why me?
Right.
What made me have the opportunity to get here when there's so many great football coaches out here that never get in that game? But I think, we have the 3 combinations here. 1, obviously you have to have the athletes. 2, we have the facility. And 3, you have the administrative support. And you got to have all 3 of those to continuously get there. You might get there once without all of them, but
Right.
you're not going to get there over and over and over again if you don't have those things. And we have all of them in place here. And I think we have a great situation to be back frequently.
Yep, and we're, like you said, we're blessed. And it starts with the head football coach, obviously. So, Coach, we just concluded spring. Obviously, went to Hammond High, played a spring scrimmage. Ironically enough, I think we started 2 or 3 freshmen on offense, a couple on the offensive line. But ultimately, the goals for spring is trying to figure out I think part of it's who plays where and get them some experience. Talk a little bit about what you guys accomplished for spring football.
Well, you don't ever want to get anybody hurt in spring, but that didn't happen to us. We lose 2 starting offensive linemen, one with a collarbone crack and the other with a crack in his wrist. So we can't come out and say we were injury-free. And then obviously David's been down since he had the ACL surgery. So I think going into spring, it was more about what we can't do than what we can do, because we know what we can do when we're totally healthy. And I think for me as a head coach, reflecting back on the spring as a whole, not just the spring game, but the 10 days we had, we found out a lot about ourselves as a football team. And the first thing I'm carrying over is we have a good football team. We have I told the guys after, the clay's in place to mold a really good program. It's now our job to mold that clay over the summer. So the guys that are really, really good excel. The Jacob Cranes and the DeMicus, Cranes and the DeMicus McLeans, defensively the Sam Brady's and the Christian Ellis's. Those guys excelled, but you expect them to excel because they excelled for us the year before. The guys that stepped up, I thought for us, I was really, really happy with. Tyler McGee had an excellent spring game. Rajon Covington had an excellent spring game. Offensively, we found a couple of running backs to go along, with the guys we had return. And so for me, looking at guys that we needed to step up and play well, they did. Stephen Tate stepped up and had an excellent game. I just think going forward, we have an opportunity to have a special team.
I do too, Coach. And I think your ability and experience to see that, even though maybe the score on the spring game, there's a lot of people, man, as you and I talked Friday, the ingredients are there.
No doubt.
And you saw some of what you needed to see in terms of maybe this kid's got a little better skill set playing here or there, whatever else. And some people, it's all about what you want for spring. I was talking to a coach a few weeks ago, and he's like, Coach, one year we went into the spring and we beat a good team, and I think he said it was 27, 26 to nothing. He said we ended up going 3-7.
Right, right.
And I said, well, the key is not winning and losing the spring game on the scoreboard, but it's what your team looks like and the evolution of your team getting to October and November. And I think that's something that we've done great here. So we look forward to you guys doing a lot of 7-on-7, I'm sure, over the summer.
Just scheduled one today at Southeastern. We're going to go there on the 13th, and then 2 weeks later we'll be at Mandeville, and we're going to do our usual Wednesdays with St. Paul's. So, we have a good summer planned. The weight room starts the day after Memorial Day. We'll be in at 8 a.m. hitting the weights and throwing a little bit after. And for a guy that likes offensive line, we're going to get those young offensive linemen out, get their steps, get their pad level down. So there's a lot for us planned this summer. And I think by the time we get to September and we see the A-Meet Warriors, we're going to be clicking on all cylinders.
I agree, Coach. I got all the confidence in the world, and we look forward to seeing you when we come back. Obviously, start school year and football will start. We look forward to another great year, and we wish you the best, Coach. Y'all have a great summer, and folks, be ready to check out the Demons this fall when they start early. I guess late August we'll start with the Jamboree.
Yes, sir.
And we look forward to another great run and a great season of Demon football. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to In the Zone with Coach O. Again, we're here at the end of the school year, Coach, and we wanted to spend a few minutes talking about the season and how we finished and all the success that we had, and then moving forward into the summer and next fall, what we look forward to. So, Coach, obviously last year, a lot of great things. Senior-laden team. We finished the year advancing to the quarterfinals for the first time since 1995, beating Sterlington, Carroll on the road, and then finishing up at Bruley. Talk a little bit briefly about the last year and what exactly you saw happen and all the success.
Right. Obviously, one of the most successful seasons in a very long time. A lot of fun, a lot of relationships, a lot of friendships were developed throughout that run. I'm just extremely proud of this year, but I'm hoping that what we accomplished this year will carry on. I'll say this, the game at Carroll in the second round is something that I'll never forget. The celebration in the locker room, just the team kind of coming together. Really the trip there, I saw something in my team that kind of told me, hey, we might do this. Just the togetherness, the camaraderie, and just when we walked in that gym, I kind of saw in our kids' faces, hey, we got this. And it's just something to really be proud of, and I hope it carries throughout my program. Actually had tryouts this Friday. Got some good young guys coming through, and I'm just really excited about it. I'm very extremely proud of these seniors, but I'm ready to move on and looking forward to, hey, can we build on this? Can we continue this? I kind of told the guys the other day, I'm like, once you get that taste, I mean, you want that feeling again, and that's kind of what we're going to build our summer off of. Hey, do you remember that feeling when we walked out of Carroll? And can we get that feeling again? And that's kind of where our program's at right now.
Yeah, that's a great point. And two, as you and I talked a few months ago, ultimately, I think it's about when you have the team that's capable of doing it, do you do it? And you guys did, and that says a lot about how you're managing your program, developing those kids, and building a culture of success. And so to answer your question, yeah, I think it will, man. I really do. I think it'll transcend throughout your program. And I think, like you said, that you got some good young athletes coming up. And then we have teams like Hannon in our district who actually won the state championship in the select side. So there's a lot of competition, a lot of healthy competition not far from here. And talk a little bit about what you guys have going on this summer to prepare for next fall.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to play in the Lakeshore Summer League. That's on Tuesdays and Thursdays throughout June. We'll probably get about somewhere between 18 and 22 games during that time. And we'll play all the North Shore schools, including Hannon. It'll be great competition. It'll be a chance for some of these young guys who haven't really gotten on the floor to get some of that experience. Now, with that being said, yes, we'll be young, but we do return our best player, and we do return some guys who have gotten some minutes. So I don't expect it to be a rebuild. I just expect us to continue to build on what we had last year. I think the weight room is going to be extremely important for us this summer. We've been in it for the last 6 weeks, and we've been seeing some dramatic improvements. I feel like the weight room for us this year is going to be the key in what happens in winter. What I mean by that is we got some younger guys who need to get bigger, stronger, and faster. And if they do those 3 things, they're prepared basketball-wise to really have some success on the court. But I'm really emphasizing the weight room this summer, and just really for some of those guys to get experience. Guys like Jaden Burkhalter and some of those young guards to really see the speed of the game, because that's the biggest thing. And that's really why we're playing. Last year, I decided to not play in the Lakeshore Summer League just because I had so much experience, and I really wanted practice to be emphasized, and I wanted particular games against certain schools to be played. Where this year, my guys just need to play. Most of these guys, outside of Amira and DeMarcus, they didn't receive minutes last year. So they really just need to get on the floor and play. But the talent is there right there for sure, and the ability is there.
That's a good point. And it's I think it's important, as some of the I think it was Coach Salt said it earlier about spring ball. It's what you want. So you saying that and knowing what you want out of the summer is important. Some people, we lost, we won. Heck, you finished the summer, Coach. You want your kids to have experience. If you go 4-10,
right?
Sure, they'd rather be 10-4, but ultimately you still 0-0 starting the year. So it's about gaining that experience and playing ball. And I think it's great that you mentioned that.
Right, and I'll say this: last summer we played 8 games and we were 4-4, but that was really not. We weren't emphasizing winning at that point.
Right.
We were emphasizing getting better. And really, we played Liberty, who is the #1 school in the state of Louisiana, and that made us better. It actually got 2 of my players scholarships because coaches were at those games. And that's one of the things I plan on doing this summer is to play the top quality opponents, because that not only does that make us better, it gives our kids exposure.
That's a great point, Coach. So, folks, we'll be Coach O and them obviously have a busy summer as well. And usually around Fair Week, those balls will start bouncing after school for practice to start. So, Coach, we're excited about the future and happy with the success that you guys had. And we look forward to that transcending and, throughout the program and us developing that culture of competing at a high level of basketball. And we're excited about what next fall and winter brings. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, folks. And, Coach, we look forward to a great fall, man. Take care. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Balk Talk with Coach Clay Tyjunt. We're excited to have you. We're upon the end of the school year, so we wanted to spend a few minutes, Coach, talking about the season that just ended, spend a little time talking about returning players and going into next year in the summer and the things that y'all look forward to. So obviously we finished the year, Coach, your second year as head coach, with a young team. One senior who really missed most of the season with an injury, but was able to come back. I guess kind of give us a little, describe how the season ended and what you felt about the success that you guys had this season.
I feel like there was a lot of, for a young team, there's a lot of positives that we can build on. First thing is we got a lot of guys, a lot of reps, a lot of opportunities, used a lot of pitchers. One of the things kind of moving forward is we want to focus on trying to be more mentally tough, physically tough. One of the things in a lot of our games, a lot of them were close. We were in just about every game that we played, and then we'd face some sort of adversity, which is very common in baseball, and we were overcome by the adversity rather than overcoming it. And so one of the negatives is I wish we could have put our nose down and been a little bit tougher in some situations. But for a younger group that, had some inexperience or, struggled with some confidence at some point. And we did show a ton of bright spots throughout. A ton of guys, stepped up. we were able to move some guys around in different situations and positions. And so I think there's a lot of bright spots moving forward. We returned, like you said, just about everybody. So I think that there's a lot of stuff for us to look forward to.
And I agree, Coach. I've always felt as a coach that experience, there's no substitute for it. Now, obviously, confidence is important too, and so forth. But you had a lot of guys, maybe sophomores, quite a few juniors, having that entire roster coming back. I'm sure you've probably already seen somewhat of a transition or an evolution in their mindset moving into the summer.
Yeah, and so with us, losing in the first round to Lakeshore, we've had about a month or so of us doing stuff. And so the Friday when the season ended, that Monday we got back and we got back starting our new segment in the weight room, fine tuning some things, and and you've seen it. You do something that you haven't usually done, or you do something out of your comfort zone, and there is some confidence that can kind of organically come about from that. And so a lot of them might not be great on the baseball field, but they're showing some growth in the weight room, and so that gives them the confidence to maybe step up and be a leader, verbally, physically. And so it does put some guys in some different situations. We're really going to focus this summer and this offseason of really trying to sharpen that mental toughness. I think a lot of these guys have played a lot of baseball. It's just kind of taking that next step. Mother Nature will do its thing, but we're changing up some of the things that we're going to do in the summer to focus on the strength side of things, but also to just kind of get back to the basics of protect the baseball and compete at a high level and doing the things that they've done for a long time, playing the game.
So this summer you have a number of guys, I'm sure, that are playing travel ball in some sort, and then your team will have some games, right?
Yeah, we'll do a couple of things, kind of segmented, so it'll give us about 2 weeks after school ends for us to get prepared, get pitchers throwing bullpens, and get them revved up, which we've kind of already begun some stuff with that. And then we'll have about a week or two in between, focus on what we saw in some games, and then kind of revamp, and then we'll play a couple of more. So it's like 2 weeks of practice, couple games, 2 weeks of practice, couple of games, and then we get into the start of the season or the start of the school year. And in the fall, having 7th hour baseball with a lot of guys who just play baseball, and we're really able to spend a lot of time focusing on our skill aspect of it, the things that we maybe want to alter with a pitcher because they're not on the mound as much as they want to be. So we want injury prevention, all that kind of stuff. The strength portion of it becomes a huge deal for us to be able to have them do stuff during 7th hour after school and really develop these guys with in every aspect of the game, from nutrition to weight room to flexibility, mobility to we can get the iPads out, video, break down the swings and stuff that we can dedicate months to,
Right.
rather than just, okay, it's January, we have a scrimmage in 2 weeks, let's pick up the ball and start going. So it gives us, and where we can separate ourselves is the time we dedicate to the development of our guys, much further than just catch ball, throw ball stuff.
Now, what about, I know coming up here every year we have that annual baseball camp. When is that again?
It'll be May the 27th, that Tuesday, right after Memorial Day. So Tuesday to that Friday. Last year we broke a record. We had some kids for vacation reasons or vacation Bible school, but over 100 kids participated. Wow. It is a fantastic thing. We get to show off our facilities, and they get to be in the locker room, and every player is required to work it. My player is required to work it. They divide up. They have teams. And then what we start to see is which player can become a better coach. And so they'll play each other. They'll compete when they do drills. And I always say one of the biggest benefits that I get from baseball camp is that our players start to see some of the struggles that coaches might have. They tell an 8-year-old, you got to run through the bag, and the next time they do it, they don't. Welcome to my world, and it does kind of recenter them on focusing on listening to everything, focus on the small details. And as a teacher and coach, I definitely think there's something where if you can teach something, there's a true understanding. So it helps our guys. They get a free shirt at the end of the week. We'll be selling some old jerseys, hats. But it's an awesome opportunity. There's a really good vibe in the baseball community in Franklinton right now. They've done some things at the Little League fields. We have several little travel teams. But I think the youth of Franklinton right now and the excitement around baseball is really good. And so get those young people out and enjoy kind of being a demon for a week.
Right. Yeah, they'll be excited about that. And then obviously, as we get into next year, we look forward, folks, to an experienced team returning. So busy summer with Demon baseball. Obviously, a bright future ahead, all the way on down to the Little League levels. And make sure you follow us and join us. Maybe come check out baseball over the summer here at Franklinton, or you may have some kids, grandkids, whatever, nephews. Check out Demon Baseball Camp. Otherwise, we'll catch back up with Demon Baseball coming into the January of next year. And Coach, we look forward to another great year. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Appreciate it. So as everyone knows, extracurricular activities and athletics are a huge part of the development of our students at Franklinton High School. Our community takes a great deal of pride in that. Our students do, and our coaches do as well. I read something last year that Franklinton High School was one of 9 schools in the state to have won a state championship in football, baseball, girls basketball, and boys basketball. That's out of 404 schools in the LHSA. Now, I don't know if there were 404 when we, won each of those championships, but as of today, there's 404. So that's a huge accomplishment. Our community takes a great deal of pride. And again, it helps these students develop. They develop certain skills and values and things that I think carry beyond the classroom. And as you can see, it was a great year of athletics here on Franklinton High School's campus. Still a lot of work to be done. Obviously we all dream of a day where every program on our campus in the same year competes for state championships. But ultimately, that's not what we're here for. And we're proud of the success that last year's students had. And we're very excited about what the future holds. And more importantly, what next year holds for our athletic programs. Great group of coaches on staff here. And we look forward to an outstanding year in 2025-26. Thank you.